All right, we're gonna go over the first part of your data packet. The first thing is talking about stem and leaf plots. So this right here is the stem, and then these right here are the leaves. So basically, you just take the stem and you stick each leaf onto the stem. So like the first score would be a 70, the second score would be a 71, 71 again, and 72. So it goes in order like that. And they always go in order. They're in numerical order. And so the highest grade here would be 10 with a 0 on the end would be a 100. So what was the highest grade? That's a 100. How many students took the test? Well, that would be the same as the number of leaves, which is 17 students, or 17 leaves. And how many students received an 88 on their test? Well, here's your 80s right here. So this is 83, 85, 85, 87, 88, and 88. So 2 students. Okay, the next section says answer the following questions using a bar graph given. The bar graph given is actually on the back of the next page, so unfortunately y'all are going to have to flip back and forth. But I'm going to cheat and do this. I'll do this. Here we go. So it says, how many students like to talk on the phone after school? So here's their activities. Here are the kids who are talking on the phone. And you can read to the left. It looks like somewhere between 150 and 160. So we'll say 155 students, 155 students. And what is the least popular activity? That would be the lowest. The lowest number, which would be down here. And so that's computer. Which 2 activities have the same number of students participating after school? So this, once again, these are the number of students. So the same number of students would be here, and that would be, the 2 activities would be earning money and playing sports. Based on the survey, do you think more students like to be alone or with other people after school? So being alone would be being on the computer and earning money probably. And with other people would be playing sports, kind of talking on the phone, visiting with friends, and even earning money. You could do that with other people. So it seems to me like that one would be the one that they prefer. More students prefer activities with other people. Okay, the next page. A stem and leaf plot may be a better way to organize this particular set of data. So step 1 is to put them in order, and then step 2 is to make a stem and leaf plot. So this is just like the one on the front page. It looks like the lowest stem we need is something in the 50s. And the highest one we need is the 90s. So the lowest 50 is a 50. And then the next 51 is 55. And then in my 60s, I don't have anything except for a 64. And then in my 70s, the lowest number is 72, then 76. And then in the 80s, I have an 80, and an 85, and an 87. And in the 90s, I have 2 93s. So that's our stem and leaf plot that matches this. Scatter plots. Scatter plots are the data points scattered on the plot. And it says the following Boyd associate principals are waiting at the airport for their shuttle to the main terminal. each point on the scatter plot represents one of these people. So these they've ranked them by height and by age. So if you look at this number 7 down here, number 7 would be low height, so they would be short, and their age would be low, so they would be young. So the shortest and youngest person is going to be this guy, Critchfield. So number 7 is going to be the little baby, Critchfield. The number 2 person here, I can see is going to be the tallest because their height is the highest. And they're also going to be old because their age is very high. So the tallest, oldest person is this lady, Filacek. So that's number 2. The other old person, so this is old, is number 1, and the only difference between 1 and 2 is their height. They look like they're the same age, but they're different heights. So a shorter old person would be Campos. So number 1 is probably Campos. Okay. So we've done 1, 2, and 7. Number 5 looks like they're very tall, but they're not very old. They're pretty young. So a tall, really tall person, the same height as Filacek, but much younger in age. So that's going to be this Sayans guy. So number 5 is. So we've got him, we've got him, we've got him, we've got him. Number 6 is pretty short and also pretty young. So that's probably Clayton. And Bambico here looks young but taller. So maybe the same height as Campos, it looks like. And Campos was number 1. So here we have the same height. So number 4 would be Bambico. Which just leaves us with Pearson for number 3, and let's just double check. She's pretty tall, taller than most everyone except for the 2 tallest people. These 2 people are taller than her. And she's pretty old, but not super old. So she's not as old as the 2 oldest people. So that looks correct. So this is Pearson. Okay, you will have a scatter plot like this on your test, so make sure you understand it. On the back here, we have mean, median, mode, and range, which I hope you are already familiar with. I'm just going to get you started off. So the mean is the same thing as the average, and you add all the numbers and then divide by how many are in your data set. The median is the middle number, and it's when you have to put them in order from least to greatest. And a little note here, if there's 2 numbers in the middle, you average the middle 2. So if there's no actual middle number, you're going to find the average of the 2 middle numbers. And then the mode is the data that appears most often. So a lot of people just remember mode is most. That helps. So you're going to do this down here, list all of them in order from least to greatest, figure out how many data points you have. That would be the same as the number of leaves. Find the sum, that means add them all up. And then divide by the total number of people in the class, and that's going to give you your average. Okay? If you have any questions, please see me, and continue on and practice number 2 and 3 and 5. And then when you get to the pie chart, you can stop.